Hey drummers, how's it going? It's Alex once again, bringing you some more fun-free drumming ideas. For this week's lesson, I've cherry-picked my top 5 single-stroke drum fills just for beginners, but of course, if you're sort of intermediate advanced, you know that it doesn't matter if it's single strokes, parallels, double strokes. If it's fast, it starts getting a little bit tricky. So stick around for this video anyway, because you might find some ideas that you like. But ultimately, this is for absolutely anyone to have a go at. All we're playing is right, left, right, left, right, left, and we're moving our hands around the kit. The idea is to sort of, especially for beginners, if you ever get stuck in that phase where you're doing your drum beat, you know a drum fill's coming up, and you're like, oh, and then just go to sort of like the default, you know, keep your hands together, move from drum to drum, play little groups of 4s or 2s or 6s or something like that. The idea behind this lesson is to start separating those hands and getting creative with some of the voices we can get from the drum kit and start coming up with some pretty sweet sounding drum fills. So if you like what you saw in the intro and you want to give this one a crack, stick around and I'll break it down. Here we go. We'll say that was 5. I'll break them down. Here we go. All right, so we've got 5 drum fills to get through. I'm going to start off with like the easiest one, even though technically they're all exactly the same in terms of like the sticking. You're always playing 16 notes. If you're right-handed, lead with your right hand. If you're left-handed, lead with your left hand. And I've chosen these ones because they don't necessarily require like any dynamics for it to sort of like really stand out and sound good. So you know, if you're a real beginner, you can just be popping every single note off exactly the same intensity and it's still going to sound pretty sweet. So I say the first one's the easiest one because it's kind of a repetitive little motion. Just to get you used to sort of spreading your hands apart, just in case you haven't done that before, if you're just sort of used to playing like groups of 4 on each drum. This is a really nice sort of starting point, and then from there onwards it starts getting a little bit more spicy, we could say. So the first one we've got, real simple, okay? We're going to play right hand on the snare, left hand on the high tom, bring the right to the floor, and then bring the left to the floor. So we've got our 4 notes there, 1, E, and we're going to repeat that little phrase 3 times. We've got 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and I'm just going to be nice and settle back on the snare for 4, E, and So all together, 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and All right, if we chuck this one into a groove, we've got keeping the groove the same every bar. Okay, we're just going to go with bass, snare, bass, bass, snare. I'll play like 3 measures, and then we'll go into our fill. Pop a crash at the end as well. So there's 1 bar. That's 2. And here comes the fill. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and bang. Right, that's what you want to do at first. Just sort of get the pattern down. If you want, just loop if you want to practice that transition, if you want to practice that transition between the groove and the fill, just do 1 bar of each. So. So number 1 is a real simple one. It's just getting that right hand and left hand separated. They do come together a couple of times, but this was the sort of easiest one I could think of just to get the concept across straight away. So that is drum fill number 1. What I'll do is I'll pop up there. I'm going to play a couple of different speeds, a bit like what I just did then. So I'm going to play 3 bars of groove. It's always going to be boom, tick, snare, tick, boom, boom, snare, tick. I'm going to make sure that where I'm playing 8th notes on the hi-hat and we're playing 16th notes with the hands, your right hand stays exactly the same speed. It's just that left hand's going to come in and fill in the gaps. So it's going to feel faster, but it's not actually going to be faster. If you find yourself sort of like coming back from your drum fill into your drum beat and something sounds a little bit off, chances are you've just sped up a tiny bit or slowed down a tiny bit. So make sure that throughout the entire thing, your right hand is always going to be playing exactly the same speed. And when it comes to that drum fill, that left hand just fills in the gaps. We're moving our hands around the kit. But if you were just to take away your left hand, your right hand is still going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4 in case 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and back into the groove. It's still going here. 1 E and 2 E and still going the same speed all the way through, even when you pop in the crash. So bear that in mind when you're playing some of these. Of course, that is a note for you beginners, but if you're sort of intermediate, advanced, you probably know all this stuff already. All right, so let's pop up there and let's go through it. A few different speeds. Here we go. Nice and slow. faster. Let's crank it up. Alright, so moving on to our second fill. This one is where it starts to open up a tiny bit more. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off with 1 E and then we're going to go 2 E and So we've got high tom, snare drum, hi-hat for the first 2 beats. Then we're going to play snare drum again for beat 3 and E, and then the and the are up on the high tom. Then we're going to bring our right hand down, keep our left hand up there, and play another one of these round the kit sort of motions. So I'll count it out as I'm playing. We've got 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and finish. Tiny bit quicker. Tom, tom, snare, 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 tick, tick, snare, snare, tom, tom, snare, tom, floor, floor, boom. Let's go a bit quicker again. Right, so let's chuck it into a groove now. I'm just going to do 1 bar of groove, and I'll do the fill, 1 bar of groove, then the fill, just to speed things up a little bit. So here we go. One sounds pretty cool, and as you're about to see, it sounds even better when we speed it up. Alright, so what I'll do now, if I just pop up there, again I'll demonstrate this at 3 different speeds, just so you can see how it sort of opens up and comes to life once you've got that speed up. So here we go, nice and slow. Go a bit faster. And even faster. Alright, so moving on to drum fill number 3, and this one's an absolute beauty. And the idea behind this one is to start getting your hands moving away from each other. So we're going to start off nice and central. We're going to do 4 hits on the snare. Then we're going to play snare drum with the right, high tom with the left, floor tom with the right, hi-hat with the left. So we're going to get this cool. We're then going to repeat that little 4-note phrase. And then we're going to go round the kit like we've done in like the first one. Okay, so if we put this all together, we've got 4 on the snare. Then we're going to go snare, high tom, floor tom, hi-hat, and again snare, high tom, floor tom, hi-hat, and then snare, high tom, floor tom, crash. Of course, once you get used to some of these ideas and you've sort of like tinkered with them and made them your own, you don't always have to. I just naturally finish a lot of the time with that snare, hi, floor, crash. But you don't have to. You could do tom, 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 crash, tom, snare, 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 hi-hat. You can do whatever you want with it. There's no end to it. Just The idea behind this is to sort of get your hands spreading apart so you don't fall into that little, pattern of just keeping them together and just staying like this and keeping it a bit too safe. So let's flow through it this time, and what I'll do is once I've come out of the drum fill, I'll go into a groove, and then we'll just flip between groove and fill, groove and fill. So we'll go nice and slow, and then we'll speed it up when we pop up there. So here we go. One more. Bit quicker. Speed this bad boy up. Right, so moving on to number 4, and this one's a beauty as well. So we're going to start up on the high tom. We're going to go high tom, floor tom, hi-hat. So we're going to get this 1, 2, 3, 4, but then we're going to carry this pattern around. It's like a little 6-note recurring pattern. So we're going to go high tom, floor, hi-hat, snare, snare. So we've got this kind of motion where we're going around like, opposite ways with our hands. It looks cool and sounds pretty sweet as well. So we've got... If we play that twice, that's going to give us 12 notes, leaving 4 remaining. So I'm going to play it twice, and then the last 4 notes, we'll chuck around the toms instead of snare, high, floor. So we got. So once again, we've got high tom, floor tom, hi-hat, snare, snare, repeat, high tom, floor tom, hi-hat, snare, snare, and then high tom, floor, bang. Let's make it flow. Into some groove. Here we go again. I like this one a lot. Let's pop up there and slow, medium, fast. Here we go. Nice and slow. Bit quicker. Itchy eye and fast. All right, so moving on to drum fill number 5, and this one's a little beast as well. So we're going to get some crossover action, so it's going to look pretty slick as well as sounding nice and cool as well. So what we've got is we're going to start off like this. So it's not going to be too hard going from your groove because you've got to shift your left hand over to the floor tom. I'm going to go still always right, left, right, left, right, left. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your first 4 notes. Right, left, tick, floor, floor, tick. From there, we're then going to play another one of our wonderful snare, high, floor, floors. So we've got tick, floor, floor, tick, snare, high, floor, floor. We're then going to bring in our snare, high tom, floor, then hi-hat. And then we're going to finish off with a nice easy 4 notes on the snare drum because the rest of it's quite all over the place. So let's just ground it at the end with something nice and easy. So we've got tick, floor, floor, tick, snare, high, floor, floor, snare, high, floor, tick, snare, 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 bang. Let's just play that a tiny bit faster. One more. Okay, this one sounds cool because it starts off, the very first note is a hi-hat, so you're not going to hear like a prominent sound, well unless you hit the hi-hat with a bit of oomph, until like the E of beat 1. So it's got a kind of a cool feel. So when you chuck it into a groove, it's got a nice flow to it again, but we're still just playing, it's the equivalent to playing, just moving your hands around the place. All right, so let's go for the usual routine, nice and slow. A little bit faster, and then, you know, sort of a moderate tempo. So, here we go. Nice and slow. Should have probably hit a crash there. Speed up a little bit. One more by looks down. Fast. All right, drummers, there's your 5 cherry-picked drum fills that sort of help you to start separating your hands, start utilising more of the voices that you can get from the drum kit, and you know, ultimately not just keeping your hands grouped together, moving around, and just you can see how you can come up with some really nice ideas. The most basic little rudiment you've got, single stroke roll, there's no gaps, there's no breaks in the rhythm, just right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, all the way through. And if you ever get stuck, just count 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. You know you've got 16 notes, and you can sort of just use this as like a little springboard to start chucking your hands absolutely anywhere around the kit and come up with something that sounds pretty slick, sounds pretty cool, and you know, if you get a bit of crossover action there as well, it's going to look pretty good too. So, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thank you very much for watching. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up, hit that little thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that little bell notification icon if you want to be notified when a new lesson comes out. Also, if you want the sheet music, there'll be a link to it via the description below, and that will take you to my website, where if you want to go and check out the sponsorship program, you can do. And that pretty much sums everything up. So thank you very much for watching. Keep drumming, and I'll see you next 2 weeks' time for another fun free drumming idea. All right, see you later. Bye.
Taking on a shot to be sure that